Hello fellow potatoes. So I found this video, and as you can tell by the thumbnail and the channel's title, yeah, it's made by a fucking incel. And also, Absolute Batman is not the worst Batman.
They gave him a bat credit card? They had the balls to give one of the greatest superheroes of all time a bat credit card?
He also loves to use the R slur for some reason.
I'm here to tell you if that's the truth. Spoiler alert, it's not at all. It's literally one of the worst takes on Batman ever. Quick disclaimer before I start. This isn't some rage bait video. I'm not lying to get your attention. I'm telling you my opinion, which I believe is the truth.
Maybe stop reading comic books and read a fucking dictionary every once in a while. An opinion is a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact or knowledge, also known as not the truth.
That this, A, is not Batman, and B, is an absolute dumpster fire. This comic is a disgrace to creators like Frank Miller, Jeff Loeb. This isn't...
You see, their versions of Batman was based on everyone's pre-existing notion of Batman. You know, big brooding guy, saw his parents get shot in front of him, and all he wants is justice for Gotham. This is literally a completely different universe.
The Batman they envisioned. I know it's a different take on the character, but what this does ruins the character entirely. So this comic strives to reinvent the world of Batman in every way possible. What if a bodybuilder, engineer dude became Batman? Yeah.
An engineer and a rich guy are the only two people who could reasonably become Batman.
This comic has everything. It has horrible, edgy dialogue. It has some pretty gay character designs. And
have you looked at a superhero before? They're all gay looking.
And if you can believe it, they managed to race swap another redhead from comic books. They managed to jump in there and turn them black.
Okay, here's probably a reason why Barbara Gordon is race swapped. Maybe that will change Commissioner Gordon's views on Batgirl since Barbara Gordon is adopted.
So after reading Absolute Batman, I think we can all agree that Scott Snyder can't really write comic books, correct? And this is a fact, proven with every single page of this garbage. There's an abundance of absolutely insane creative decisions happening here. Who, in their right mind, greenlit Alfred's look? What is the haircut? What is the beard? Why is he an MI6 mercenary with like...
Nearly every version of Alfred has combat experience, which is why he often gives Bruce Wayne combat advice.
Like grenade launchers and sniper rifles. This is straight up cringe, I'm sorry. So I thought Alfred was bad enough. But then we get to Bruce Wayne, the main man himself. What do you think when I say Bruce Wayne? You think the suave, charming rich guy, which in Batman Year One was originally based off of Gregory Peck. But now in this comic, they're going for something a little different. Let's just take a little glance at what they thought Bruce Wayne was. So this is the page where Bruce Wayne is first introduced. We see him hitting a bag. He looks exactly like Bruce Wayne has for the last like 100 years, saying some badass Batman stuff. No fear, no pain. And then out of nowhere, this big hulking transgender comes up behind him and is like, "Hey bro, I think it's my turn now," and just starts blowing the punching bag across the room with his big fat arms. Now the character design going on here, he has the haircut of some fat emo transgender kid, and that is Bruce Wayne.
Some artists do draw Batman as being very bulky, not just Absolute Batman. And this makes sense from a character design standpoint, because really bulky characters are typically strong and tough. That makes sense for someone like Batman.
Not joking, that is Batman. Then we actually start getting into the backstory of Bruce Wayne. His parents weren't killed coming down that alleyway and they got mugged. No, instead he's at a zoo with his dad or something, and his dad gets shot. And the idea for Batman comes from the fact that he's in a zoo and he goes into some bat-like exhibit. I really don't know what's going on here. I don't know what was being smoked in the writer's room, but...
So, if you actually fucking read the context clues, you would realize that Bruce never went to the bat exhibit because he was on a school field trip with the rest of his class, and Thomas Wayne is a teacher, and it's implied that bats are one of Bruce's favorite animals.
Clearly, this comic is all over the place. It's a mess. And apparently, Bruce Wayne isn't some rich guy anymore. Instead, he's a working class citizen, working all these different construction jobs, learning engineering. So he's this super genius. And his mother is still alive. So there's no motive to fight that you're an orphan, your two parents were shot in front of you, and you'll never stop on your crusade against crime. Instead, your dad got shot in a zoo somewhere, your mother is still alive, and now you're just working construction jobs.
Oh, so both of your parents have to die? Well, I guess the Flash has no motivation.
Is this Batman? I don't really know what's going on here. I was shocked reading it. He's walking around like an emo kid, brooding. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry, did you just complain about Batman brooding? Fucking Batman!
On with Batman these last few years, but people need to learn that his hair doesn't come down over his eyes, he doesn't listen to Nirvana, and he's not gay.
Anyone who says Batman isn't gay knows fucking nothing about Batman.
So then in the story, we learn about this gang of scumbags who have taken over Gotham. Very similar to The Dark Knight Returns, except in The Dark Knight Returns, you had the mutant gang. These violent creeps who were going around stealing, killing. It was really dark for its time. So you think in this brand new comic, this edgy comic, they'll be able to go darker. No. The people who have taken over the city, the big bad villains, are called the Party Animals. I don't get it. I really don't. They're wearing like clown masks or party masks. I don't know. It's all very messy and stupid. When Frank Miller designed those mutants, they really did look threatening. These Party Animals? There's no threat here. Where is the villain in the story? I know they introduced Joker at the end of it, but where the hell is the threat? And
I think it made very clear that the Party Animals aren't gonna be Batman's main threat. Sort of a secondary thing that, you know, he could kick their ass if he wants to. So I had to cut out, like, an entire fucking rant about race swapping. Here's my opinions. I mean, if you want to, it's your character after all, but, like, you know, your character's race was never a big thing about your character. But, you know, it's your character, do what you want with it.
Scott Snyder is an ultra retard. Just look at the last fight scene. I won't bring you through the entire thing because I'm kind of getting sick of this garbage even just looking at it. But basically, Batman drops down to stop these party animals. What's the difference to normal Batman? He's basically the Hulk now. His cape has turned into Spawn's cape for some reason because he can like push it out and drive people through windows and walls with it. I don't know what his cape is doing in the comic and it's really odd. Then he rips off his ears. You know those things on his head? Yeah, he just rips them off and starts cutting guys, throwing them around.
So he's just denying the fact that Batman ear knives are the most badass item anyone could have in fiction.
Then finally, when I was ready to puke my guts out because it was such a disgrace to the character of Batman, we get hit with this page. This bad guy comes up to him, edgy, cursing at Batman. Get the F out of her way.
Did he just say cussing is edgy? Hey, you want to hear something edgy? Frick. Crap. Heck, even. Maybe even. Dang it.
Batman then takes off his big loaf of bread logo, the big rectangle that doesn't even look like the Bat logo, and uses it as a hammer or something, or an axe, and slices the dude's arm off.
I agree that Absolute Batman has objectively the worst symbol of any of the Batmen, but also, it becoming a fucking battle axe is, dope as fuck. You know, the normal bat symbol already makes a pretty cool battle axe.
With no regard for whether or not he lives or dies. And then just goes, yeah, there's a hospital down the road, you should start running. That's some cringy tough guy dialogue that a 12-year-old would write. And then on top of it, Batman then just starts screaming, cursing at this gang. You're gonna have to get the F out of my way.
Oh no, Batman said fuck. Who knows what else he might say? He might say shit, or maybe even piss.
What? What is this? Please, can we stop glorifying it, calling it badass awesome? It's one of the cringiest things I've ever read. So
Batman typically has a Batarang, or, you know, the Batmobile. He's got the grappling hook, the occasional cloaking device. You know how many Batmen have 2 knives and a battle axe on standby? Just one.
So Absolute Batman, without a doubt, is an absolute disaster. It's a waste of paper, a waste of ink, and a complete and utter waste of time.
And you are a waste of human brain power. You couldn't even figure out that Batman broods a lot. Here's the definition of brooding, by the way. Seems like something Batman does pretty fucking often. Moral of the story? They made Mr. Krabs black, another redhead ruined by woke media.